Synchronized, synergistic, collective intention. This is a call to all activists, prayer warriors, any human being concerned with the state or affairs of today's world. We're calling you to participate collectively in an event that has the power to turn global insanity on its head. There are people all over the world right now that are utilizing the power of consciousness and the phenomena of synchronicity and synergy to change events, to reestablish ley lines on the earth, to stop wars, heal illness, and dissolve pollution. I will give specific examples later on in this video. It is only recently, in the last couple of decades, that this has been monitored and evaluated scientifically. The first experiments came out of Princeton University, and they continue today with Lynn McTaggart's Directed Intention Experiments, the HeartMath Institute, and the Institute of Noetic Sciences. I'm certain there are more scientifically based observations, but these are what I'm most familiar with, and absolutely convinced. They demonstrate that the power of synchronized intention will successfully alter our physical world and the destructive imbalance of power that is destroying it. There is no longer any doubt that human consciousness changes things. So we want to talk a little bit about coherence, synergy, and synchronicity. Synergy is a phenomena of action, of the whole being larger than the sum of its parts. For example, 1 + 1 = 3, or 4, or 5, or more when synergy is activated. Synergy is activated when individuals put their actions or intentions together in a coherent way towards a common goal. An example is a horse-drawn carriage. One horse is capable of a certain speed when pulling a carriage. 2 horses are 3 times faster than one. Why? Because they are both directing their energy and intention to a common goal. Synchronicity is the phenomena of opportunities presenting themselves when a strong energy imagines or intends a particular experience. For example, have you been thinking of someone, then all of a sudden they call? That's synchronicity. Synchronicity is the universe answering your energy, inquiry, and imagination with opportunity. Both synchronicity and synergy increase when the energy calling them is coherent. So let's refer to coherence. It refers to flow, sensical and directed flow, as opposed to chaotic or dissipated flow. Now, chaotic and dissipated flow are presently dominant in our world. We are in a high state of entropy right now. Energy is being used up or depleted by our activities as opposed to being harnessed to create sustaining, cooperative, and synergized solutions to the challenges before us.
This is a call to all activists and spiritually aware groups and individuals, not just geoengineering activists, to consider what could be if this devastating program was arrested. To consider how a collective can begin to alter the ability of those that are not conscionable or accountable to remain hidden behind a veil of political and ideological collusion. There are some ground rules, if you will, to operating with synchronized, synergized collective intentions. First and foremost, we must focus on what we want, not what we do not want. Moving towards a vision and emotional realization of beauty, peace, healing, and love is a higher vibrational state of manifestation. Second, we must sit, whether it is in a prayer, meditation, contemplation, visualization, or other form of accessing the higher mind, in a healing state of energy. We have to spend this time feeling and believing what we intend, as though it is already there, already ours, already present. Doubts, blame, fear, grief, or any other emotion that compromises our full access to ourselves as powerful reality creators will dilute and compromise the power of the collective.
We have several suggestions, and I'm sure there are many watching this that will no doubt have great suggestions of their own. We will be creating an event page for this ongoing event. At present, we're calling for a weekly day and time to stop what you are doing and sit knowing you will be joining perhaps only hundreds of others at first, but eventually thousands and tens of thousands in a powerful exercise of human possibility and potential. That is to dramatically alter the state of our world and return her and us to a collective of sovereign, free, loving, powerful creators of a reality that honors the sacred nature of all life.
Photos of the sky and natural world in pristine condition. Photos of people celebrating, singing, dancing, or doing anything that emits or provokes a potent feeling of unbridled joy and remembrances of times in your own life when you were at peace and feeling life was an exquisite privilege and opportunity are all great ways to enhance the emotional vibration of your contribution to the collective and access the phenomena of synergy and synchronicity. Presently, there is a surge in awakening to how the world is actually operating. The depths of deception are astonishing, and the wanton recklessness of the present power structure is assisting in this awakening. They are taking us to the brink of total collapse, and more of us are waking up to them through their escalating frenzy and ferocity. Unfortunately, our reactions are driving the pace and direction they intend to take us in through our fear, anger, frustration, and general feelings of disempowerment and learned helplessness. This can be tough for many people to understand, the fact that there really is only us, and that they only wield power through indoctrination into a belief in separation. The world we live in is a manifestation of the collective, the entire collective, in order for a few that worship the ego as opposed to their inherent spiritual essence and have formed allegiances with other dimensional forces that can only be described as parasitic. In order for them to succeed at what they are doing, we must not understand our higher abilities, our connection to higher dimensions of power, knowledge, and wisdom. Because when we do, through the sheer advantage of numbers and a unified generation of strong and loving intent, we overwhelm the lower vibrations of energy that currently dominate our world and reality.
Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Lorraine Hurley, and one of the voices you heard at the beginning of this video. I happen to be in the beautiful, beautiful town of Crestone, Colorado, with my friend and colleague, Dr. Dean Lloyd, the other voice you heard at the beginning of this video. And he and I are introducing, suggesting, inviting you to an initiative that we believe has the power to turn global insanity on its head. First, a little bit about myself. I am a traditionally trained medical doctor. And after recognizing the futility of medicine, first of all, people are getting sicker and sicker, and there is a deliberate and concerted effort to suppress any genuine cure or recovery. I transitioned into alternative modalities, several alternative modalities. You can't do that without bumping up against what is called truth activism. So that for me was investigating pleomorphism, and that's where my fall down the rabbit hole began. And I devoted a few years of highly committed effort towards the geoengineering movement. That led to the culmination of my medical experience, my healing experience, my work as an activist, led me to do what I do today. I'm the host of a nationally syndicated radio show called Uncommon Awareness, and part of that show has a roundtable called Evolving the Species. This is work I do with my colleagues, Dr. Dean Lloyd and Dr. Ann Rosen. And with that being said, I want to bring Dr. Dean on to share a little bit about himself.
Thank you, Lorraine.
You're welcome, Dean. You're welcome.
All right. Well, my name is Dean Lloyd. I have been working in the healing arts for over 28 years. I'm an Oriental medical practitioner, author, professor, radio show host, inventor. And it's been our experience, Lorraine and I, where we are dealing with more of the difficult cases. People are not aware of what is going on with them in their environment, and it is up to us, those that are in a position of authority or in a position to be able to educate and help those that come to us in ways where they would never be aware of. And we want to provide you some tools, some ways of accessing our ability to heal that may not have been provided to you in your childhood or later education. And the radio show is one way of doing that. but we've had a discussion over her visit, and we realized that the geoengineering piece is at the very top of the list. And because we're dealing with so much in the way of toxicity in our world, we had to, in this way of brainstorming, come up with a more effective and adequate way of dealing with such a huge problem. And the way we thought would be adequate for this situation was, why are we so fragmented in our culture, in activist groups having their own agendas, and as a culture not knowing what to do? So this project that we want to introduce and make available to you and invite you to is this intention to synchronize together.
Well, and thank you. What I'm hearing Dean say is that all healing in our practices, what we see is that people who are aware and conscious, people who are willing to make changes, people who are willing to be aware and to take 100% responsibility, even despite this environmental assault that we're under, get well. And so what is the X factor? What is the missing link between being ill or being healthy? It is that X factor. It's that determination to exercise our innate, although latent in most of us, incredible human capacity for creating the reality that manifests as where our awareness is. So geoengineering is one of the multitude of programs that is designed to tear this world apart, that's brought us to the brink of catastrophic decline and possible extinction. And it represents what is actually the symptom behind all human illness.
Exactly, and that symptom is the very key word here, is that so much of what our focus has been on symptoms, and we're here as a way of offering an opportunity to look at where healing really comes from, and it's becoming aware. And healing works in reverse. The symptoms of getting better are those of the ones getting worse. We are very often put in a position where when symptoms come up, we get the fear factor coming in. Oh, no, we can't have that symptom. We can't have this symptom. Well, the more we become afraid or more resistant to what is happening to us, the more it controls us.
Right.
And our world, our environment, is being controlled in a way that is heinous. It is possibly very much as much as I hate to say this, a possible extinction event. And it's not, I'm not trying to grandize this, I'm trying to let you know that the alteration of our DNA is going on right now.
Right.
It's going on from what is being sprayed on us, and you know more about what's in
Well,
those
transhumanism,
chemicals.
that was part of my work with the Carnicom Institute. I was vice president of the Carnicom Institute. That was a real fast and furious fall down the rabbit hole. And like a lot of us, I was psychically traumatized, felt disempowered, felt incredibly fear-ridden. I mean, I couldn't sleep, and I would obsessively sit at my computer and pass off information. But what we're trying to say is that in our individual work, what we began to realize is those people that heal from cancer, from all sorts of dreadful illnesses, do so because of their capacity to use consciousness towards the manifestation of their intent. They're not running from being sick, they're moving towards being well. The people that are really cured at the last hour are those that discover this innate, although latent capacity of humankind to alter reality. And in the earlier part of the video, we talked about synchronicity, synergy, and coherence, and the power they have. And so this is a call, if you will, an invitation to join with us in something that we believe. First of all, there's precedents. Do you want to talk about some of the precedents? I mean, I think it's good to give examples instead of just talking abstractly.
Well, in Japan, there was an incredible event that took place from 700 meditators that came from the work of Dr. Emoto.
Dr. Masaru Emoto.
Yeah.
And documented by Dr. Lynn McTaggart.
Thank you. And that was a successful experiment. The life was absolutely absent in this lake.
Biologically dead.
Yeah. The meditators focused, they prayed, and energetically came together, and the life started coming back to the lake. And that is just one example of many. This is an ancient thing. This is not something that we're just, oh, nice to see you, Lorraine. Come on over and visit for a while. Let's come up with a great idea. Okay, no, this is something that has been part of our ability. We just have not tapped into. And we are able to do this on a grand scale. We feel at this particular time
in the history and
yeah, that it is
of the world.
Right, and we're at a particular juncture of our development as a species that has to realize that we are in on this together. We have to do this together. There's only one of us here, and because there's a lot of emphasis on how we're going to be attacked from one direction or the other, if we focus on what we want, what we're going towards, rather than what we're running from, we can achieve essentially what we're talking about here is health. And not only that, we're also talking about putting the efforts together in a way where we're doing it in ways that we're uniquely qualified. Maybe visualization is your way of doing this. Maybe it's being a musician. Maybe it's being an artist. Maybe it's a dancer. Whatever it is that works for you, we want the intent of a joyous environment and life. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want a peaceful, healthy, clean environment? And if you do, then that has to come out in the way that you are creating it. You're co-creating it.
Well, and one of the secrets we did mention in the introduction is you have to get yourself into feeling and believing that this visualization, that this is actualized. It's real. You can have it, and we see this happening in people's personal lives day after day. Now what we're asking us to come together as a global community to begin to exercise what they really don't want us to know about. Why do you think they fluoridate our pineals? Why do you think they have TV in Hollywood? Why do you think they work to keep us in a state of perpetual fear? And even the alternative news works to keep us in a state of division, okay? The 1 million things that can and are going wrong. And we're passing off news and we're passing off horror stories one after the other without realizing that we are actually doing their work for them. There are so many more of us than them, and all they have to do is set the suggestion that they're all powerful, that they're untouchable, that they're too big not only to fail but to bring to justice. And again, this isn't about us and them. This is the realization that there is only us. And so out of all of us, a few of us want a future that can be read off the Georgia Guidestones. The rest of us want a beautiful world we all know is possible. And so Einstein, you don't solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it. The level of consciousness that's created is based upon separation, based upon forcing us into the idea that our physical reality is all there is, based upon, it's based upon a lot of fallacy.
And the mind affects the way the physical body responds, and the vice versa. The physical body affects how the mind processes information, how it functions. So if we can get together on the intention of what we want, focus this, the energy will spread. And we are going to do this in a practical way too.
Well, it can't just be intellectual.
It isn't. This is coming from the heart. We're talking about heart-centeredness here. And the way that you experience, this is spatial. This is your experience in life. This is not the thought of, oh, let's be healthy, isn't being healthy.
Our heart field is 5 times stronger. This is the Institute for Heart Math. We now know that the heart actually guides the mind. The field around our heart, first of all, is capable of incredible what they call coherence, right? It moves to be one with the environment when there's a high level of vibration. It's 5 times more powerful than the mind. We're thinking that the mind somehow guides our feelings. It's actually our feelings that guide our mind. And when we get in touch with how much fear and frustration and disempowerment we're actually feeling at the subconscious level, we have the ability to raise that into consciousness and to question our fear and to question our frustration and say, what would really be the best thing for me to do in this situation? Affirm first of all, the people in charge, they don't have a heart. I'm not going to go into that right now,
But they can't be creative like this.
Right.
And this is our realization that with our intentions and we focusing together, that we are able to create the energy that provides us the ability to move forward, to stop this chemtrail business, the geoengineering business. Our ability to focus is absolutely imperative. It's not even like, okay, well, I'll get to it, maybe at the end of the month, and maybe I'll put it on. It's got to be part of a routine.
This is about saving our lives.
It is vital that we have, and we all need a wholesome discipline if we want to consider ourselves, to be people who are healthy. Whether you're a meditator, you're exercising, you get enough sleep, nutrition, all those are pieces of being healthy. We're talking about putting an intention right now as part of making it part of your nervous system, making it part of who you are as a group, because we are all in this together. We are the human species. We are able to influence each other in this way. This way is the way we're looking at healing each other. Not just ourselves, not in a place of just only myself, but everybody is part of this environment. If you're not living on this planet and you're not seeing what's going on around us, then you don't need to be listening to us. But you do, and you are.
Right.
And that's why we wanted to give you this introductory video to let you know that it's here, and we want to provide a place for you to go. This is a Facebook.
A community. We're going to be posting a Facebook event. It's going to be a call, actually, because of the urgency of the situation. We're going to be making a weekly call to synchronize, to synergistic intention. And we're just going to set a day and a time, and we're going to pass it around the globe because we have access to thousands and thousands of activist groups and healers and so forth. And it sounds Pollyannish, it sounds too easy, but I promise you, this is the solution they don't expect us to exercise. They really feel so secure in their program of entrapping us into a physical 3D reality, of convincing us that we have no other power beyond what we can see, touch, feel, smell, right? And
they're brilliant at it.
They're brilliant. They've been working at this for millennia.
Yeah, it's not like it's anything new.
Right.
And so we cannot allow ourselves to be entrapped by the fear patterns that had been indoctrinated into us. So we're stepping outside of that.
We need to begin to celebrate what is ours uniquely as human beings. Imagination, compassion, love, creation. I don't want to be repetitious, but
it's fine. It's all appropriate. So we welcome you to joining this project, and until next time, because we'll be doing other videos that'll be giving updates. Okay, so thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you. Like Lorraine was saying, the Facebook will be up, and we'll
we
just
welcome
get
your
feedback.
suggestions,
Exactly.
your commentary. We welcome anything you want to share with us in terms of how to actually make this go viral across the globe. It's only going to take an hour.
Interesting choice of words there, viral. It's August 9th, 2014, our first shot at this. Thank you for listening.
Namaste and love to you.